As news of President-elect Trump's controversial policies and promises sweep the nation, many look to find ways they can do good in this world filled with evil. Woodside World's Aaron Raubvogel discusses how his Jewish upbringing relates to giving to charity and how being Jewish in today's world has affected him.
When you think of Judaism and Jewish people, what do you think of? The highly offensive stereotype of Hasidic Jews, or the so-called penguins, spread by terrible propaganda throughout the years, of large men in black and white clothes, with long sideburns and big noses, and their heads buried in a prayer book. In my opinion, these people are not the image I would like representing my religion. Jewish people are so much more than just prayer and curly hair.
Well, I believe in the Jewish values of being a kind person and giving to charity and giving to people and visiting the ill and taking care of the elderly.
Like those Jewish values my mom just stated, many Jews, including my family and I, follow Jewish values in our lives.
Jewish values are really high ideals to live by.
That's my dad. He and my mom were both raised Jewish, decided to follow Judaism throughout their adult life, and eventually spread Judaism to their kids. One of the reasons my parents raised my sister and I Jewish is because there are only about 16 million Jews in the world. That's less than 1/4 of 1% of the world's population.
I think that it's important to try and preserve Jewish heritage. I think that it's at risk of being lost through assimilation.
My dad is right. More and more Jews are following traditions less diligently than they used to, and ignoring sacred holidays like Yom Kippur and Shabbat.
I felt upset at other Jews when I have to explain about the Jewish holidays to them or about keeping kosher. Not like, really very upset, but a little disappointed. Like, there aren't that many of us to begin with, and they should at least know something.
But there are still some devoted Jews, as noted by my non-Jewish friend.
I know that people who are Jewish are very devoted to it.
That's 16-year-old Evan Farah, a non-Jew who's friends with several Jewish people. He is quite interested in Jewish culture and traditions.
I've learned about the Jewish perspective on creation and the Jewish perspective on health and prayer. And yeah, I found it really enlightening to experience this kind of new perspective.
Unfortunately, not everyone shares Farah's interest in Judaism, as there have been some instances of anti-Semitism or racism against Jews. Some of these instances have been happening internationally.
Yeah, I've never directly experienced that level of anti-Semitism that I felt threatened. I think I have felt concerned about it, definitely, when I hear what's going on in Europe, especially in France.
But this is not just an international phenomenon. There have been several cases of anti-Semitism reported locally, too.
Someone was making a joke about someone who quote looked Jewish, and it was just kind of, I don't want to use the exact language that they were using, but they were assuming that someone was Jewish based on how they looked.
My parents taught me Jewish values for a reason, so I could use them and live by those morals for the rest of my life.
I would hope that you live a life of value and meaningful. That's important, and whether that's being Jewish or not.
And that's the thing. Jewish people are so much more than the stereotypical long beards, big noses, and curly hair. Jews are people who want to do good in this world and help other people do good too. Giving to charity, helping the poor, and assisting the elderly are all high Jewish values. If anybody were to do good in this world, there would be no hate or war. For Woodside World, I'm Aaron Raubvogel.
Aaron Raubvogel is a junior at Woodside High School and the online and social media editor for Woodside World, the student newspaper at Woodside High School.